G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. Now, the ABC, News Corp, and Nine Entertainment's Neil Mitchell have joined forces to attack independent journalist Antoinette Lattouf. She's a lady who's taken on the ABC after they sacked her on frivolous grounds. Now, that became obvious a few days ago on Twitter, where Antoinette Lattouf is reporting on her own Fair Work Commission case. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's very obvious she's reporting on her case, and we'll read out one of her tweets in a minute. But then Neil Mitchell decided to jump on board and say, is it appropriate for you to be reporting on your own case? Well, what was he doing there? He was dog whistling. He's got 71,000 followers. He was saying, hey, boys and girls over here, come and attack Antoinette. What a snivelling coward he is. I wonder how often he beats his wife. That's the sort of coward he is. He's really grubby. I don't know much about Neil Mitchell. He was a radio announcer in Melbourne, but I do remember he did an interview with Kerry Stokes, and he absolutely grovelled to Kerry Stokes. He couldn't grovel enough. And here he is jumping on board with the ABC and News Corp's Australian to attack Antoinette Lattouf for taking a principled stand on morals and ethics and fighting the ABC for unlawful termination. So I'll put the tweets up on screen so you can see for yourself. Now, on the 9th of March, Antoinette Lattouf published a tweet. It says, revealing day at FWC, Lattouf versus ABC. That's a Fair Work Commission case. And number one, she says, admission I was not given directive not to post on socials. Number two, she says, evidence David Anderson, who's the CEO of ABC or managing director, was involved in my sacking. Number three, managers unable to explain supposed policy breach. And four, ABC felt pressured by lobby complaints. That's lawyers for Israel who were lobbying the ABC to sack Antoinette Lattouf. And number five, ABC Comms fed my sacking to the Oz. That's ABC Communications fed her sacking to the Australian, News Corp's Australian. And you can see in that tweet, Antoinette Lattouf is linking to the Sydney Morning Herald article. So not only was she in court and she was a witness to what happened and she's reporting the facts, she's actually linking to an article in the Sydney Morning Herald with the facts in it. Although I think Antoinette Lattouf has reported at least one or two facts that weren't in the article, and that's obviously ABC Comms fed my sacking to the Oz. The Sydney Morning Herald didn't want to report that, I don't think, because I had a look at the article and I couldn't see that in there. That's because they all look after each other. Now, on that tweet by Antoinette Lattouf, Neil Mitchell, he's come on and said, is it really appropriate to be publicly analysing and reporting your own case? What's an absolute moron? Number one, Antoinette Lattouf is very upfront about it. The whole part of it, you can say, admission I was not given a directive not to post on socials. Revealing day at FWC, Lattouf versus ABC. That's her name. It's not like she's hiding the fact. She's linking to the Sydney Morning Herald article. And the key part there too is also AB Comms fed my sacking to the Oz. She's pointing out that the fact that the ABC are colluding with the News Corp's Australian. Instead of Neil Mitchell reporting on it, he's accusing her of somehow being biased and sneaky and underhanded. He's dog whistling his 71,000 followers that say, here, come over here and attack this Antoinette Lattouf. I don't like her. Now, you can see on Neil Mitchell's Twitter account, it says 3AW news analyst. He's obviously doing work there of some sort. He used to be a radio announcer. He's no longer that. He retired from that, but he's obviously still working there in some form. It says TV commentator. That's obviously for Channel 9, I suspect. It says columnist, probably for the Nine Entertainment's papers, the Sydney Morning Herald, The Age, etc. And he's got his own podcast show. An important fact here is that we knew Antoinette Lattouf was taking on the ABC, the Australian. Well, that's just a propaganda machine for News Corp, for Rupert Murdoch, Lachlan Murdoch. So no big surprise there, but big surprise that ABC are colluding with them. What cowards. And that had come down from managing director, David Anderson, and the former chairperson, Ita Buttrose. I wonder if the new chairperson will allow that to go on, with ABC collude with News Corp to defame a former journalist who was working there. And it says that in the tweet, Antoinette Lattouf says the ABC fed her sacking to the Oz, and that came out in evidence in court. So Neil Mitchell was fully aware of that, but he ignores that. He doesn't care. He jumps on board. Oh, I better jump on board with ABC and the Australian. I mean, he might get a show on Sky News. Who knows? He was probably hoping. But the whole media getting it together and attacking independent journalists is happening all the time. Quite often it's just by what they don't say, not what they do say. They'll turn a blind eye. Peter Van Onselen, former journalist for Channel 10, political reporter. He was on Twitter attacking people, including Grace Tame. I was the only one who called him out. I wrote a couple of articles about it. None of those hero journalists at the whole media that people talk about from time to time, none of them called out Peter Van Onselen. I wonder how many are going to call out Neil Mitchell. None. They're all cowards, that's why. They all know they've got to fall into line. Otherwise, they could be next on the chopping block. Anyhow, I'll publish an article on my website, Kangaroo Court of Australia, on the 13th of March 2024 in relation to this issue. There'll be further information there and links to various articles, so make sure you read that. In Kangaroo Court of Australia, independent media, I publish a website and a YouTube channel, and I'm 100% crowdfunded from viewers like yourself, so please support my Patreon account. Currently have 404 supporters donating $2,390 a month. I need to almost double it to become financially viable, and you can donate any amount, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, whatever suits your budget. It all helps out. And the link for the Patreon account will be below this video on YouTube and also on my website. And please share this video on social media. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.